다 주로나 봐. 양양자 팬나. 아마 변내더니 다왕 무지라. 다왕 뭐 탐지했더니 고성토지 짓은 나와서 고성토지 짓은 나와서 이 토마토들이 거의지 나오지. 애들이 제가 나팔라도로 좋아담. 애들이 제일 기디 나와서.
So now all Dharma friends have assembled, and so we begin now with the actual empowerment, and this is a brief empowerment, and a brief empowerment consists of the authorization, which is the empowerments of body, speech, and mind. So first, in order to receive the form or the body empowerment, please repeat the following supplication, thinking that you're supplicating all the deities abiding in the space before you.
균을 가리 샘 다음에 바로 다드노 생포랑 주고 말 다음에 바로 다드노 다니 나오냐만 대주고 요래 이렇게 잡선 좋아하지 애기들이 마음이 바로 나한테 말 주고나 다들 주고는 인피를 놓고 주고 요만 샘나 갔다 올라더니 라지가 다들이 야요면 탑 서쪽으로 요만 사제 특징이거든요 오 단디제니 뭐 인피를 놓래 샘지인을 피고 있는데 나랑 미매가 차대리 대회더니 람토마더니 산촉조도 샘지바대리 산촉조도 샘지 사지지 샘들아 다요 말 샘지 삼지 삼들이 샘지 치고 차대리 저 동문이 차대리 이 데라 지지도 닦고 해주서 나와고 저들 다치 샘 담모 차대들이 저들 초이는 작가 차와야지 가리는 저 담모 샤트고 요래 근데 잠소 당모이나 이런 것들이 속차당 자꾸 잠바탕에 통통고요. 저 당모지 나디면 생각하는 거랑 같이 죽거든. 죽어 살라 당황을 잡든지 어디 죽어 남파다 왜지. 이런 남파다 타면 맞대. 다들이 라이 거 가래나 랑가 라이 남소 줄 것이 와주 그속대 아 곰고 때 곰고지 가래래지. 일단 샘 남파다와 차되는데 나이다 속대 저는 다 가리 엄마 륜데 나리데 륜들이 나들 아 자꾸 차가 저래 나이 륜데 동네들 륜들이라 말이들 실제가 그렇다고 요만이 야무래도 소나 양면에 짜동이 가면 따따로면 사야만 못 샤로 배지다 실제가 륜 그렇다고 요만이 륜 그렇게 매나 진짜 륜다 매발 륜이 다 정말 진짜 륜이 박차들이 다다 지금 뭐 차랑 동네들이 남시들이 박차를 박차지게 되는들이 동네 용 거래. 내가 창제 탑을 봐. 르라고 자손다. 이거 도 sab지도 거는 그 박차 바지로 요래. 다파 다로 그래. 되는 거 거기들 르지 박차 용서들 이 생각 박차 용어로 상속셈. 이제 다 소화다 그래.
So, first, when the Buddha taught, first he taught the refuge. So first we take refuge in the three jewels, and then we enter the path. So the Buddha is the three jewels. How we see them is that the real refuge is the Buddha. And the Sangha is our companion, our guide, and the Dharma is the path. And Dharma means that we need to transform the mind or fix our mind. And so that being said, it's not really the mind per se that we need to fix or change in any way, the mind itself, but what we need to change in our mind is we need to cut out or let go of this thinking, this belief in the true existence of me, that I really exist. So that is what we need to get rid of. And the only way to eliminate this perception of self, of a self, of and me, is through cultivating an altruistic mind that wishes to benefit others. And so that's the first step on our path, is to cultivate bodhicitta. If you cultivate bodhicitta, then there naturally will be no self. And then the mind in its natural state is completely vast, like space, or it is like crystal clear water. So during the form empowerment, the body empowerment, we purify the karmic imprints of clinging to this body as me, as mine. And so when the mind becomes free of that clinging, the mind becomes completely clear, like clear water. For example, if you have a clear lake, anything can be reflected in it clearly, and also you can see to the bottom. So when the mind is completely clear, you can see to the bottom of the mind, the actual nature of the mind. In other words, when there is no self-grasping in the mind, you will naturally see the Dharmakaya nature that is deep within you. There's actually also a refuge where we take refuge in the Dharmakaya. And the Dharmakaya is like space without center or boundary, without any limitations, like open space. And then from within that space appears the Sambhogakaya of whichever deity you practice. It could be a peaceful or a wrathful deity. And so then the reason why, even though our nature is Dharmakaya, the reason why we visualize the Sambhogakaya is because what do you identify with? What do you call me? You're pointing at your body. You think that this body, that's me. It's because of the body that our perception of a self has become very solidified. It's my body, that's me. But then, is it really your body? Because there's no one who can bring their body with them when they die. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't bring your body. And you die, either it will be buried underground or burned away by fire, but you can't take it. But what you will take is this perception of me, this imprint, this habitual thinking of a self. And it is because of this imprint that there is a me, a self, that you continue to experience suffering, the suffering of hunger and thirst and heat and cold and bardo and so on. And so the Buddha, with his great compassion and skillful means, he also saw that when you exchange this perception of identifying with your body and instead identify with the deity, so you visualize yourself in the rainbow-like form of the deity, then you will simply forget about your ordinary body. And in this way, the imprint of the ordinary body becomes purified. So the visualization of the deity's form is in order to purify our karmic imprints of the body. And then we cultivate bodhicitta in order to purify the imprints of the mind. So next, please repeat the following supplications.
nga dungin do ta sanje che jab nga sanje che jab sho yin den o sanje ke nga ge chang jab to go ti ni che job tap se gung ge yin ji tap yin no zong to ba ta ni nga ka ri che jo go le che rang nga wo nya ba jo go che sam ning je gom de chang de nga wo nya ba pa tap song la ni shirab la ti ni chang ge da me ba da ni me ba ha ko to je le ji de ma ni ti tong ne 저거 탑에 좀 그래도 장 좁거래지 장 상희지고는 다음에 봤던 이제는 시라고 되는지 다니니 매와 하고 특별히 너는 랑가랑 좁 내리 줄을 탑을 람때 이제 탑바 랑내라리 시발지에서 콩거들이 좀 커도요 말이지 대사들이 산지 답들 도마감이 무슨 쏜 거요 뒤통 고거래지
when we first take the refuge vow, actually everything that we need to know is right there. It's just we need to remember it again and again, also during the empowerment. So when we take refuge, in the context of the refuge vow, we take refuge in the 3 jewels. Because why do we take refuge? I take refuge because I suffer, and therefore I seek refuge in the Buddha. And so, however, the way that really works actually is that, which is also said in the refuge vow, the Buddha actually says that actually I can't give you refuge. You have to give refuge to yourself, but I can show you how to protect yourself. And that's why in a refuge vow we say tab which means this is the method. So I can give you the method. The Buddha gives you the method and not actual protection. And so that means that the Buddha teaches you that if you want to be protected, you need to protect yourself from the I. And the only way to do that is cultivate love and compassion. And then this I becomes, like these layers of I become thinner and thinner. And then wisdom increases, and wisdom can understand that self and other are indivisible. So you realize the ultimate truth. So the Buddha really is saying actually you need to protect yourself. And you need to protect yourself by cultivating love and compassion. In this way, the self will go away and you can realize the true nature of self and other, the indivisibility of self and other. So there's this quote by the Buddha Shakyamuni. He said that I can show you the path that leads to liberation, but liberation depends on yourself. So the Buddha is not going to come and carry you away to liberation or something like that, but the Buddha only shows you how you can protect yourself. So this is how we need to understand it when we take refuge.
공서서 나라 παρ사돈 정도지 고송 톡지 지선나 쌀도서.
Master, please heed me. Please bestow upon me the empowerment of body, speech, and mind of the Bhagavan Vajrapani.
도지 zemba gongso sor dani rola pindun de doqin chula sorndepji saje yishi ji de so.
Vajra holder, please heed me for the benefit of beings. I supplicate you, exalted one, please cause the mudra of wisdom to arise.
토마 사지시 좋아돼. 다다다 이 토마 홍공고에 사지 소역대 공고에 홍공도 가려드려. 홍마고를 매일 하고 상을 홍공서 다지 강양요 말이 배나. 다다다지 돌로들 홍대들이 인도 탐색되는 잡았다고 차들 산재 탐색이 산지인데 주섬 산재 탐색 뒤쪽 공고를 가려드 여기 홍공. 이따당 소탑지기 달 아마도들 잡쇼를 잡쇼는 가서 코로나를 고모지를 못 제쇼를 이제 코로나를 고모지 코로나는 이 담아반을 다니지니 이게 네 소위 이 홍줄 로마도 홍을 줄는데 제지는 홍줄 홍사야만 보더니 또 많이 이런데 탐특고 요래 이 소소고 홍공은 Ramji is holding two local gently. Hong to one of the Sanjay took you home being over. There's a lot of gen home to the so what have been told the jury. So called Maison Santok Saint 20 was one. The home goes the Dajin is all your man, I just subject home. You are your money. The Ramji don't watch how there is. They taught and easy. I saw it gone. Wrong thousand home to walk on it. They tell it in Namkakani. The ship last autumn did Namkakan, the Kosong talks how you on what on home. Tawapan and yet the Rigos of Thompson. Some. There's something more Sanchok of GP on Gini. They were so dandy that Tabasawa Power and Chaurum should have gone. Carter and Mashano should have best taste of the dandy should go. Younger than was a destiny moon the church, the car tower of the church, the jump sort of 10. He jumped to the Ranga pin by Gina Devason. He jumped to Ranga to the Dongay or Macangay, Nakar Dongay or my just or Dongay or my Gina pin, but it's not what about your music of the Chokamigi or it. Sancho Sing Petty, the membership about the Toma, the seminary, you home gone, the gisity, the Tatil Gong Nedity, Ridgebox, you want to talk about. Solo di copano di realtà o lati davvero a ci la ridi anche se ha tuo calcolo one cami di lati yang di dammi nazzini longo sala tavana già ben ci voti ti sta sembra ma di sono gli ciali ore o devo dire da di cielo del donghe ore nata donghe ti sa già pinta che sono male donghe già ti nu c'è per lui da già mu jes 로당 대변 hor시는 들어서 남때 들어온데 담배 취재 탑라티니 리제들이 바깥에 들라르드네 들랑지 돈이 제쳐버들이 조금 미용을 배서 대면들이 고 리제들이 동해 속차 차들 리제 오는 뜨거운 거 찾아가 동해 리제들이 종요래 semkhorang dāli dhī 대시로 달루고 박차 용아 다 토만이 거더니 당을 내린 야송다वर 차로 대도 공나 야송다वर 내린 저토고 요래 들대다वर 다 당고 홍곰 대기스더니 막 다들 라이고 봐졌다 들저도 여름 거 보고는 남당나도 라시나 들랑을 누가 박차 라워디 파스 전에 야송다वर 민속고 요래 바로 롱걸 민속
And so next is the visualization of the deity's form, but it is sufficient if we just visualize the seed syllable of the deity. And generally speaking, the Hong syllable is the seed syllable of all the deities. And it is important to meditate on the seed syllable because, like, if it just think like I am the deity, for example, then there still is this concept of me. But if you first start with the Hung and if you meditate on the Hung, then there is no concept of a self, a me. It is also said that the Hung syllable is the king of all the seed syllables. And it is also said that if you wanted to meditate on all the Buddhas after 3 times, instantly, all at the same time, then you should visualize the syllable Hung. Also regarding the Hung, it becomes like a protection sphere. Now sometimes, for example, some disciples ask the Guru, please let me enter into your sphere of protection, your protection sphere. Visualize me in your in your protection sphere. And so ordinary people see it like there's all these beings which are then in this protection sphere, but then what the Guru actually does is seeing them all as Hung. They all become Hung, and so then everything is Hung, and then millions of beings are all contained within the Hung. So this is how they can all kind of fit in the protection sphere. So the real meaning of Hung, therefore, is emptiness. And therefore, if you are able to just meditate on Hung, everything can be encompassed by it. And So when you visualize the Hung, therefore, it becomes like a natural protection sphere, or like basically when I visualize Hung, everyone is naturally included in the sphere of protection through the Hung syllable. And regarding the protection sphere, Thigden Sungen also said that the most supreme, the most powerful protection sphere is bodhicitta. When you think of the Hung, just like when you cultivate bodhicitta, there is no concept of self or other at all. So when you meditate on Hung, the mind becomes empty just naturally. That's why in the beginning, when we practice a deity, we visualize the seed syllable. And then as you habituate to Hung, also begin to feel how everything is Hung, how like each heartbeat reverberating through your body is like a pulse of Hung, 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 like pulsating through your body. So everything becomes, the whole universe becomes Hung. And so now, with that in mind, visualize that, as the wisdom beings descend, think that from the space, various seed syllables, as Om, Ah, and Hung, and forms of deities, wisdom deities, descend down like rain falling down and permeate the entire universe. So what really permeates here, the blessing here, is their bodhicitta. So it is actually like hot rain falling down and melting all the ice blocks, eliminating all of our self-grasping and revealing our true nature, our Buddha nature, which is just like ice melting into water and merging with the ocean. And once you become like ocean water, then you will, that is your own greatest benefit, and it will bring happiness to others. Because the ocean, the water, has no suffering. And also space, for example, doesn't suffer. So this is how you then bring benefit to others. Once the ice has melted and ripened into water. So the ocean or the sky, therefore, also are examples of a bodhicitta, the ultimate bodhicitta. So in any case, first, visualize Hung. Meditate just on the Hung syllable. And the Hung syllable purifies the visualization purifies the karmic imprint of the body. So you visualize a Hung, and later when I ask you to open your eyes, then look at an image of the deity Vajrapani and recognize him. This is Vajrapani. And you do this whichever empowerment you receive, whether it's of a peaceful or a wrathful deity. So in the empowerment, you recognize the deity, and that then becomes the yidam that you practice continuously. And the yidam appears like a rainbow in the sky. There's also this refuge to the yidam, or the Sambhogakaya, where we say, I take refuge or pay homage to the clear nature, the clear Sambhogakaya nature of the mind, the rainbow-like nature of the mind. So the mind then appears like a rainbow. You forget about your ordinary physical material body. The physical material body is the basis for all suffering and pain and sickness. Sakya Pandita also said that in the ocean of samsaric suffering, so if the ocean of suffering would take on a vessel, it's the vessel of a body. So from that perspective, from a perspective of samsara, the body is one's greatest enemy, and therefore a sensible, a wise person renounces it. A person with great merit renounces it. So now the body is the aggregates, or the aggregate sense sources and the elements. And when you visualize yourself in the form of the deity, then the concept of self and other will diminish, and you eventually ripen as the nirmana, Sambhogakaya. And so otherwise, if we continue, that's the purpose of visualizing the deity, because if we continue to see our body in this ordinary form, then it is because of this body. So the body can become the pure form of the deity. But on the other hand, when we are in a samsaric state, the body is our greatest enemy, because it is because of this body that we experience suffering and pain and sickness. And so when we identify the deity and the Sambhogakaya, the rainbow-like form of the deity, through the empowerment, so you close your eyes, you look at the deity, you recognize the deity, and you recognize I can become that if I practice it. You can transform into that. If you visualize the rainbow-like form of the deity, you become a rainbow body, if you habituate to it. So it begins with the Hung. You just focus on the syllable Hung. You close your eyes and meditate on the Hung. And then when I ask you to open your eyes, then at once look at the image of the deity of Vajrapani. And then later, when you do the practice on your own, when you practice the generation stage, just continue to repeat this over and over again, and to close your eyes and visualize the rainbow-like form of the deity in an instant, in an instance. And so then gradually the imprints that fixate on the true reality of your body will diminish, and your body then later in the bardo will ripen or attain enlightenment. You attain enlightenment into the nature of the Sambhogakaya. And open your eyes and look at the image of Vajrapani, or look at the tanka. And then again, repeat that. You open your eyes, and again you close your eyes, and then you have the deity appear in your mind. So this is how you practice when you practice on your own. And if you practice in this way, then eventually the deity will appear in your mind, at least as first a vague image in the mind. And also it may appear if you develop single-pointed faith, devotion to the deity. And so when the deity appears, then recognize that it is not anywhere outside of yourself. It's the appearance of your own mind, within your own mind. Your own mind is like a mirror. Anything can be reflected in it. Oh, and so when you look at the image and then you close your eyes and then it appears in your mind, it's like you're taking a picture. So your eyes become like a camera, and then the image of the deity appears in your mind. And so when the deity appears in your mind, then the concept of your own body, you will forget about your own body, basically. And so that is the most important point about the generation stage. So this is the form empowerment. So also when you receive empowerment, you should think that so there are as many empowerment deities as there are sentient beings, and think that the empowerment deities confer empowerment into the crowns of all sentient beings, so not just yourself. And so also think that the blessings of the deity permeate the entire universe. So there's this stream of nectar flowing down from space, like rain falling down and melting, dissolving into the entire universe and all beings. So that's really important, because you shouldn't think that, oh, I didn't get the vase on my crown, so I didn't get the empowerment. So this is not how you get the empowerment. The real blessing comes from first the space-like Dharmakaya nature of the deity, which then appears as the rainbow-like Sambhogakaya in space, and then the blessings that descend down like rain are like the Nirmanakaya, and then those blessings actually permeate everywhere, the entire universe and all sentient beings. Being thus initiated, the karmic imprints and defilements accumulated with the body and all grasping at them are purified, and you have received the complete form empowerment. You are now empowered to practice the generation stage of visualizing your body as the deity, the union of appearance and emptiness. As a result, you will have the fortune to accomplish the Nirmanakaya.
네 루제 박차 내가 다다 루게 득제가 루제 문이 삼대리 문이 요요리다 그래서 나타동에 저거리 박차들은 지금 물랑문이 되니 루제다 요는 지동에 용거에 되는 박차들이 그래서니 셔디 루제 야영은 생각이 박차들 때리 다다는 이더니 동에 좋아 용 거요. 대외를 뒤 루이 박차다 살 거도 없어. 다다른 자손한테 좋아하시는 루이드 다다니 가가 차로 생분들이 루이드 문에 요장 루이드 거 말해서 차로들이 생라이 자손 따때 생을 차는 거래. 그래서 루이드랑 한 문에 듣고요래. 그래서 다들 루이드 동에 대신들 왕도다리시는 쌈좀 잡았더니 배인요래 되는데 네바치 보요래.
There's this imprint of the body, the physical imprints that we're purifying. And so it's this imprint. Imprint means that there is this habitual perception, thinking that this material body of mine, that's real, that's me. And of course, it's there. You have this body, and you experience suffering and pain, illness in this body. But then it's not just this body, actually. You can see that, for example, when you dream, you still have those imprints. So in the dream, you have a dream body, and that dream body experiences all kinds of suffering and pain. And it's very similar to when you die later. When you die, you will leave this material body behind. And just like in your dream, you will bring this imprint of your body with you, and you will continue to experience similar kinds of suffering because you have this imprint of the body. And therefore, if you practice the deity, you are transforming this imprint into the perception of the form of the deity. So you're actually, by doing that, you are separating yourself from your body. Even though you still have this body, you know that that's not me. And that is because the deity is always in your mind. And when the rainbow-like form of the deity is always present, that is when you have actually attained freedom of the body. And so that's the meaning of this empowerment. So when you really think about the meaning of each of these empowerments, if you understand their meaning, the benefits of that are just incredible. So just by knowing the purpose, the meaning of this empowerment, that itself is extremely powerful. Vajra holder, please heal me for the benefit of beings. Please grant me the great wisdom of the mantra empowerment, which is the source of all accomplishment. So that's the speech empowerment.
소소랑 나 이디시와 나 영대 스리랑 홍근 살아 니 나데 요다 띠도 나데 제베번 코쿠요서 이제 나가 film 들이 디 나라 자동 지지 박차디 요래 변 책적 시험들이 책되게 니보시는 띠 차도리 마도바시는 라산 코소롱들이 대서 책을 받쳐 버리 괜히 밤이가 들이 좀 왔다 왜 쫙쫙 동지 데이터들이 맞지고 말이 좋아가냐 그러면 말 다가세 용을 애들이 그래서 sempre 파자마 소리면 저 좋아하는 자꾸 야 말이 대 말을 나도 니 박사 돈지
So for the mantra empowerment or the speech empowerment, the visualization is that, so you visualize, there's two parts to the visualization. One is that from the Vajra master's mouth emerges the mantra garland. And as you repeat the mantra, think that the garland then enters your mouth and then goes down to the seed syllable hung in your heart. And then the second part is that also think that from space, a rain shower of seed syllables, of mantra syllables, descend down. And as you then repeat the mantra, think that you have received the mantra garland, which then begins to circle around the hung syllable. So then think that now the mantra circle is always there and it always circles around the hung. And so what's the benefit of the mantra or the mantra recitation? So there are these imprints that we have. They're called the imprints of grasping, like thoughts that grasp at like the we grasp at the conflation of thoughts and the actual object. So we kind of conflate the object that we see in our thoughts about them. And so, for example, when somebody says something to you, somebody says something nice to you, and immediately you're very happy and you're attached to that. And when somebody says something negative to you, then immediately you get really angry about it. So this is how powerful words are. And so they affect us negatively. And when you recite the mantra, through the mantra you realize the empty nature of sound, and then no matter how much anyone says or what anyone says, it will just not generate a feeling in you at all. No matter what is being said, nothing will affect you in one or the other way. And so that is the power of the mantra recitation. It purifies this imprint of speech, so there is no more grasping at sound or speech that you perceive. So that is the mantra empowerment.
Peter, Jesus now, Naga Golden Supper, Trama, Pachata, Dizakivata, so we just know my liver top. Nga lai sama cha tong sung jo re ba da wa la wan de ba ron ko de ba ka pa chi de se ba ye no zi.
Being thus initiated, the karmic imprints and defilements accumulated with the speech and all grasping at them are purified, and you have received the complete speech empowerment. You are now empowered to recite the deity's secret mantra, the union of sound and emptiness. As a result, you will have the fortune to accomplish the Sambhogakaya.
Di nga go ro tama pa cha shi ba ji da da nu di ji to pa nge ma chak ye ni bo la cha mi ba dang ni ji chak be chak da zhong cha mi dang ma xin che ma to ro ji chak ni ba chi bo re de da ta men ji ma ta tham ji to ni ba de se kun ba de mi ba to ro yo le de to de ma da ba re ji ja 多半你这没人扎了没人吧，扎了这把没把，俺知道这种也少把讲什么的你弄，但实际上扎了没人吧。
So we said here that the defilements of speech and all the grasping become purified through the speech empowerment, and so also that is this it purifies these thoughts clinging to the conflation of thoughts and the true actual object. And so, as we said before, it is, for example, when you hear something nice, you become attached, and when it's unpleasant, you feel angry. So all of these fixations, these graspings in the mind, must become purified. So it is said that completely let go of all mental grasping at sound. And when a grasping thought appears, recognize it's all impermanent. It's all empty, and I don't grasp at it. So if you don't grasp at sound, not grasping at sound is the samaya of mantra, of the speech empowerment. So through this empowerment, we have purified all previously accumulated fixation to speech, and also we prevent them from arising in the future. So do not grasp at sound.
这里俺平时他这些平告诉我有的，人家今天什么他俺拉七八，俺去八七八，俺都是七八送，俺拉七八的这里他那块儿种种那的这里，拉康俺那的过来人家那的里，马上啥一叫呢？啥啥一叫的里啥白亏了嘞？这个的里香港嘛出版不多呢，这他们这个出版不多有嘞，今年这个罗马提上下个的里。现在我们的讲什么？甚至他们这里的差不多的这到了，甚至他们这里的里，啊，他罗马的说话他也不路边了，不上就那路边了，那没瞧的，甚至我们从个东西杀头个有嘞，大人我这就没切送，这里说这两个路线这些都10万英镑，像个3万等飞机，爬到这边10万英镑去了，这两个就走路过了，在这边了，长期人住就没切。甚至都云没去，大了我都云没去，云没去把身体就等等的上面就等着蛮民众就是我是没去，一时间我觉得说嘛的，因为他那块儿重重的，那个沙滩嘛的，说那么说不他的切把几嘞的，这说个样子的，我是大们都呢，马戏把的人也就给我了歌的了，这没什么叫他那块儿重重的马戏把的有个原因。这里好像平常节目，这就是人咋办的呢？这里伢都干那个美国的家了，这里那个平常他们那里就会有的，你平常些了，那个就种的，这边这里他们那个公当，领导就干啥干了，那个说大家这这他们那个种的，那个路上那边厂上这里是啥，送我进步，那个那边怎么每个同仁我这个送那么多送我的。这都平时那么少不塔7、8级，这里如果红当拉块的，那个咖喱买过上的，这里是那说不塔，甚至偏不塔，那个是那说不塔来的。
And for the mantra garland, it is explained that there are 9 major benefits, but for us 3 are most important, and that is to recognize that the mantra is the deity, and secondly, the mantra is an offering, and third, the mantra purifies the obscurations of sentient beings. So regarding the first one, the mantra is the deity. For example, within this little prayer wheel, many deities, as many mantras as there are, that many deities are contained. And with each rotation of that prayer wheel, all of these deities emanate outward. So for example, let's say a wheel is filled with 4 million mani mantras, then with each rotation, 4 million deities go outside, and they go, for example, to the Pure Lands, where if you want to make offerings to the Buddhas in the Pure Lands, then they go to the Pure Lands. So then an infinite number of Tara and Chandresic go there to make offerings. And if you want to benefit sentient beings, then these deities pervade all the sentient beings in the 6 realms. And for example, this prayer wheel is filled with Tara, and Tara then fulfills all the wishes of sentient beings. It is said in this prayer, she brings the benefits of the Tara's application. She brings a child to those who want a child, and wealth to those who want wealth, and protects from suffering and untimely death, and so on. And so then also spinning a prayer wheel, which is actually the meaning is the same as the mantra garland, also leads to the attainment of siddhis for yourself. So the spinning of the prayer wheel is an endless accumulation of attainment or siddhi for yourself. So for example, you can take a commitment thinking that I will spin a small prayer wheel for the rest of my life. And in this way, that it then becomes your support to attain siddhis. And by spinning a prayer wheel, all of the qualities of the mantra garland are accomplished. So by spinning the prayer wheel, you make offerings to the Buddhas. And so there is these 3 continuations that were spoken by Guru Rinpoche. And so he said that the first one is the mantra becomes a continuous offering to all the Buddhas. Secondly, it becomes a continuous purification of sentient beings' obscurations. And third, it becomes a continuous attainment of siddhis, your own siddhis. And so then Guru Rinpoche said that the benefits of mantra will never cease to be, and they have never ceased to be. They've never kind of gone down, and they never will. So the power of mantra will always emerge, will always arise. So the power of mantra is accomplished by spinning this little prayer wheel, for example. It's a very special, skillful means to accumulate a lot of merit. So also in our opening prayer is in the Dagdangma, it says, I will practice virtue until I die, for as long as I live. And that could be a commitment, thinking that until I die, for as long as I live, I'm going to spin a small prayer wheel. The benefits are really inconceivable. And also, when you spin it during the daytime, at nighttime, you can place it above your pillow, and then your awareness always kind of goes there to the crown area as you sleep. So all the benefits of the mantra also are accomplished through the prayer wheel. And that's also why I'm encouraging everyone to spin a prayer wheel. And that's also why I'm encouraging disciples to produce them. There are many different workshops that produce them all over the world right now. It's has so many benefits. Or for example, if someone has a prayer wheel on them, also it is said that whoever only sees their prayer wheel will not be born in the lower realms. So there's so many inconceivable benefits, and it's such a great merit to spin a prayer wheel. So the prayer wheel and the visualization of the hung, which is also why we print the hung everywhere, like on the clothes, on the t-shirts, and so on. So these are actually methods to accumulate great merit with the least difficulty, and quite easily. And so it's a great way to accumulate merit, and also it's a great way to benefit sentient beings.
모자는 무고 nga요래 무고 nga요나들이 nga랑 걸어송네 모자는 나서는들이 겁나지는 뒤로 모자 따사면 봐 날레레게 차송데 무고 가 그냥 송마도 무슨 갈 때도 뭐랑 걸어서 송대도 nga 모자 뒤서 지서 링거도 라 걸어서 송대도 왜 Vete Taveti, Munition, the Tedder that I told me, say some of the Sanjay Kanagi, the Laco took no the best and up Timbo. Not the training already. Lamang the children car, cemetery, same data, same data in your better, or 3 tarang, Laco de Ping, Terry, the young Monga was a sort of your the little veteran to not until they like it. Laco took no the Timbo, your head.
And so regarding the benefits of having this small prayer wheel, I'm saying that because I have a personal experience. It's my own personal experience. Of course, it's also the words of the Buddha, but it's also my own personal experience. For example, I always have this small prayer wheel on me, on my body, and never separate from it. And therefore, even at night when I dream of the prayer wheel. Or, for example, in the past, some years ago, when I was back in Tibet, we were going on a car ride. There were 5 of us in the car, and we had an accident. And the car flipped over and was completely flat. It was totaled. There was nothing much left of the car. And nothing at all happened to any of the 5 passengers in the car, all of us. So when the accident happened, what happened in my mind? What did I think during the accident? Actually, I don't even remember what I was thinking. All I was thinking is the wheel, the prayer wheel. I just didn't want anything to happen to it, so I held on to it. But I don't really remember the car accident itself. And that really was a sign that that really protected our lives. And then if it protects us in such a way, even in this life, then clearly it will be a great protection for future lives. So it is also the word of the Buddha, and so you can see the prayer wheel has so many great blessings. So in brief, the reason also why we spin a prayer wheel is because then the mind is always there. The mind is always focused. And whatever the mind thinks of, this is what the mind will become. And so, for example, in our car accident, it was because I was just thinking of the wheel, the prayer wheel, that nothing happened to the 5 passengers in the car. So that's why, Dharma friends, I keep telling you that a small prayer wheel like that truly is very precious.
Rola, Pindonza, Bawo, Doje, Lopunji, Lomcho, Dengzi, Jesus.
And then for the mind empowerment, please repeat. Vajra holder, please heed me for the benefit of beings. Courageous Vajra master, please cause the samadhi of the Supreme Mind to arise.
Sin Koran Jesha Mewa Hako Yord. Sin Koran Jesha Mewa Hako Natani, Charlie Majigna, Lay Jubria Garchen for Jubria Tadil, but now Sharon Yori, gave her given now, Tapashikan, Mageva, Nama, New Sonson, Sharon the Lay Jubria, the got the chairs on the oh, the same called Jesha Mena, the Jubria got the chair and roll, not the one shake at all.
So in that supplication, we supplicated the courageous Vajra Master. So I'm today your Vajra Master conferring you the empowerment. And So then maybe you want to ask me, so are you really brave? Are you really courageous? And my answer is yes, I'm really brave. I'm really brave, I'm really courageous because I know that the mind does not die and it's not born. And therefore I'm not afraid of anything, I'm fearless. And yet, even though I'm fearless, I consider karma extremely carefully because I know, because the mind cannot die, that the karmic visions will continue to manifest in the bardo. So if there are virtuous imprints in my mind, then the Pure Lands will manifest, and if the imprints are negative, then the lower realms will manifest. So what makes me fearless or courageous and brave is that while I have recognized that the mind is beyond birth and death, actually the recognition in that, the recognition of the deathless mind made my conscientiousness and my kind of care, my attention toward karma even more careful. So what I'm afraid of, there's one thing I'm afraid of, and that is evil, negative action.
심진 처럼 따와대 션들이 잡지 쳐다 예미바 차서 항상 이때 신뢰 고조라들이 신뢰 깨적들었더니 넘버 조선 돈이 아주 내로만 줘 거래 니까니 죽지 모르는데 말을 틀려 또다 상마지 받을려가에서 개발을 거든 그 상통도 다 띵을 신뢰 고면 대리 상마지 바로 건 거요서 이따 다 통제 not the same thing like Yana. This is just how you come to the Yamda Yamja Toko, the Dadagadri, owning my Europe.
So now you've to visualize that from space, white on, red on, blue hung syllables have they descended down like rain falling down and have permeated, dissolved into all sentient beings and melted their ice block like mind, and they have become indivisible from the ocean like Buddha mind. And so then now next at this point we meditate in this ocean like vast state of Buddha mind. So if you know how to practice shamatha, calm abiding, in an instant, place yourself in this restful state of meditation and just settle in the natural state. And then now we just practice this one time, but you should practice this each and every day. And so this develops into the what we call the view of vipassana. So through shamatha, you are sustaining the view of vipassana, and until you attain enlightenment. So you practice this until you attain enlightenment. So now we practice this one time, and then you continue it on a regular daily basis. And so when you hear this sound of the gong, then think that all thoughts disappear and rest within this thought-free state, which is the meditative state of all the Buddhas of the three times. So you're from going into this meditative state of all the Buddha's mind. So now when you hear the gong sound, then place your mind at once into the state of emptiness.
That's the question to one. Question to God, now don't drop, don't post out, don't. The question to one, almost the hack one. The leader one to the one to Tom took the song, the leader that Tom took. Lab just ordered the one Tom took the you know, Tom took one year, Tom took the Mongol. It's just on Cowboy, two some. 니 자와 탐책대 되다 라랑 줄라니 파사마다 인지 마다 보이 발라는 데 참신 탐지를 줄 샘대 원이더니 삼바다 인지 때다 메리지 경요 말이 다도 성계라서 올라더니 라고 보다 총말들이 삼제 요에 베트다 삼제 대들이 사족 세우고 머리 네 강나요들이 시당왕도 마셔와더니 이진정왕도 마저 대체했다 망동 이들 만한 과단에 sep지 담지 강력지와요 왔대다 sep지 담지 마디와 찍자요 말이서 그리고 무슨 때 하고서는 나디면 sep지 담지 카카요 말이 나갔다 어디 그리고 당고 돈이 고아서면 돈이 내려지 됐다 잡았다 세대는 다 송삼 이 대고라더니 라이는 사는 도제들이 내 돈이 담적이 사자집에 따와서 사람도 지금 어쩌고 노진 창고로 되죠. 그 돈들이 놀랍게 갑자기 쳐지는 거예요. 홍리. 홍대고는 아니더니 선남도 찍도 매발하니 차리요래. 선남도 탐제도 잡았대 하고 나더니 사자집에 돈들이 그냥 매샘라도 줄었어. 선남도 탐제도 잡을 값들라 대랑 오시서 생문내로 대라고 따박을 야 그냥 왔다 붙여요. 대선 내봐. 나 대선 잡아. 나는 대선만 이거 자체는 봐요. 어떻게 되든 양이 인자가 나도 사족선 뛰는 것도 사족선 같이 와래 사마당이지 같이 와래 드리테가 기준이나 요래 기준은 라테서 오래 근데 소저나 욕바 상제당 상촉 선바 탐제다라 공소설 로병다라 공소설 다든지 송대 제시 상촉 닝보라 지제바드 라산나 도제 예담제 활동생 대여성아 니네전다 진리서 다war죠.
So we have received the 3 levels of empowerment, and so that is the essence of these 3 empowerments is the empty appearances for form, empty sounds for speech, and empty mind for mind. Clear and empty mind. And then lastly, we come to the samaya of the empowerment, which is the life force of the empowerment. And as we said before, 100 deities have a single root samaya. And of course, each deity, each empowerment has their own individual branch samaya. But it's very difficult for us to keep, for anyone really, to keep all of these branch samayas. What is essential for us is what we definitely must keep is the root samaya. And the root samaya is love and compassion for all sentient beings. just like a mother loves her child. And every sentient being has that potential, actually, because they have a mind. Whoever has a mind has love and has compassion, at least to some extent. For example, even a lion or a tiger, they have love for their offspring or for their companions. And the essence of that love, essentially, it is really bodhicitta. So therefore, do not allow it to become destroyed by anger or by any other emotion. And cultivate it each and every day, make it stronger and stronger. And start with the love that you feel for someone that you love the most. And then think that every sentient being has been such a one. And when you become free of self-grasping, you realize that, and through love you become free of self-grasping, you realize that you are actually never separate from sentient beings. We are all just like space. So finally, it leads to an actual experience of emptiness on the ultimate level. For now, it is an understanding of emptiness. And so, in any case, think that I must not transgress this root samaya. And that is the samaya of the mind, which is significant because Vajrapani is a deity of the mind, of the Buddha's mind. And therefore, he also represents the view or the state of Mahamudra. Vajrapani and also Vajradhara or Chakrasambhara and so forth. And to summarize it all the samaya into one, it is to meditate on the hung. If you just meditate on the hung, then naturally there will be no thought in your mind. And naturally you rest in the natural state of your mind. And regarding that, it is said in the Mahamudra teachings, without a single thought, decisively look at your true nature. So when you are in a state of no thought, look at your mind in this moment, the natural state of your mind. And that is what is called the view. The view is the knowing of your true nature without any doubts. So the view is to be free of any doubts. And so that is what needs to be recognized, and then it needs to be habituated on an ongoing basis. And it is habituated if you cultivate bodhicitta. And of the two kinds of bodhicitta, the most important one for us is the relative bodhicitta. And that essentially is love and compassion. So now please repeat the samaya. So it says then, so each of the deities has their own samaya, as we will just repeat now. But whatever it says, what's most important is the root samaya, which is love and compassion. So then please repeat. All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas residing in the 10 directions, please heed me. Master, please heed me from today onwards until attaining the essence of enlightenment. I will take up the exalted deity, Vajrapani, as my yidam, and I will recite his mantra daily to whatever extent I am able.
Sanjo semjo Rinpoche maje bana chi ju chi ba nyama me ba ya gong de me wa yo everybody sang a long la thank you. 주로 나봐요. 동 페이스북도 그래서 나도 통하는 것은 은행 통고요래. 또 말이 깨치하는 은행에 네 통하는 가지나 통거래. 내가 제시요 말 다이요래. 저거 무슨 통하는 통서 저거는 다 봐요. 저 말이지.
And Dharma friends, also I'm happy to see your beautiful faces. And what we are seeing when we see each other on the screen, we are seeing our real self. You are really seeing us. So don't think it's not real because it's just a screen. But this is how we really see each other. And we hear our actual voice. And it's the real voice, it's the real body, because you can always see it, you can always hear it. It's beyond birth and death. You can always, again, listen to it and so on. The physical body, pay no attention to it. It's impermanent. It's not real.
Tujie Rinpoche, thank you very much. Rinpoche, tene tereng ngaso Canada chiso ke so ataba na yin. Oh, the sana dorji kawang tene dan zambale loma chama nyamzom ri do tsu la tene kadin chama la nyeni tene loma chama ke chapshene. Rinpoche le tujie che shege yin. So, thank you very much, all the Sangha, and thanks to Rinpoche. So, we have all our Sangha here who joined the teaching. So, that's Rinpoche today perform this Vajrapani empowerment. So, it's Rinpoche really performed the empowerment and the teaching for us. So, I thanks to Rinpoche, all the Sangha's behalf. We really need the Vajrapani empowerment and the teaching for due to this in this time in the world. So due to negative emotion arising, and Vajrapani is power of subdued all the negative things. So also in the right now we have due to the disease is so much difficulty time, and Vajrapani is power for reduce all this suffering and purify karma and suffering. So that's why Rinpoche performed this Vajrapani empowerment, which all free from our illness and suffering. Thank you, Sangha. Taichi Delek.
Thank you, Rinpoche, Tashi Delek.
Thank you, Tujie Che Rinpoche. Long life, Rinpoche. So tomorrow, 9 o'clock Arizona time, Rinpoche going to give Mahakala and Archie's transmission blessing, teaching. Thank you, organize Garchen Dharma Center in Canada. See you tomorrow, everyone. Good evening. Tashi Dele.